Today, we are diving deep into a really important law, the Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993. This is the act that set up the official guardians of your rights here in India, and we're going to see exactly how it all works. So, let's get right into it. So, let me ask you a question right off the bat. When you think about your most basic rights to life, liberty, equality, who's actually in charge of protecting them? It's not just some abstract concept. There is a real, specific legal framework built for this exact job, and that's what we're going to unpack together today. Here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the why behind the act. Then we'll meet the national and state commissions it created. After that, we'll look at the powers they have, and finally, we'll trace the path from an investigation all the way to getting justice. All right, first things first, let's get to the heart of the matter. Why does this act even exist? What was the big idea behind it? The answer is written right into the very beginning of the law, in its preamble. And I want you to notice that phrase, better protection. That tells you everything. The goal wasn't to invent a bunch of new rights, but to build a stronger, more effective system to protect the rights we already have. It's all about creating a dedicated shield. And you know what's really cool? The Act gives us a super clear definition of what human rights even means in this context. It's not some vague idea. It specifically says these rights are the ones guaranteed by two major sources, our own constitution and the international covenants that India has signed onto. This is so important because it connects our domestic laws with global human rights standards. Okay, so we've got the why down. Now let's meet the main player that this act brought onto the scene, the national level guardian of our rights. This is really the centerpiece of the whole law. The National Human Rights Commission, or the NHRC. It's headquartered in Delhi, and it was designed to be the country's top watchdog, the main body looking out for human rights across the entire nation. Now, just look at who makes up this commission. This isn't some random committee. The law demands serious legal firepower at the top. You've got a former Chief Justice of India as the chair, alongside other very senior judges and experts in the field. This whole structure is deliberate, right? It's designed to give the commission immediate credibility and serious legal authority. So who gets to pick these top-tier individuals? Well, the president makes the formal appointment, but, and this is a huge deal, only based on the advice of a high-powered committee. And look who's on it, not just the prime minister and home minister, but also the leaders of the opposition from both houses of parliament. This bipartisan setup is absolutely crucial. It's a safeguard to make sure the selection is balanced and respected by everyone. But let's be real, you can't effectively protect rights for over 1 billion people from just one office in Delhi. The Act totally understood this, so let's see how it brings this protection closer to home for everyone. And this is where the Act gets really smart. It makes a provision for every state to set up its own State Human Rights Commission, or SHRC. This basically decentralizes the whole system, creating a network of guardians so that no matter which state you're in, there's a local body you can go to. And the logic here is perfectly consistent. You see a parallel structure. Just like the president appoints the National Commission, the governor of the state appoints the State Commission. It's a system designed to work in sync, from the national level all the way down to the local level. Okay, so we've established these guardians both at the national and state level. But what can they actually do? Let's open up their toolbox, so to speak, and check out the powers this act gives them. And wow, their job description is huge. They can investigate a complaint that someone files, or, and this is a really big deal, they can launch an inquiry all on their own, something called taking suo moto cognizance. Beyond that, they can visit jails, review laws to see if they're up to scratch, and work on educating people about their rights. It's a real mix of reactive investigation and proactive awareness building. And listen, when these commissions launch an investigation, they have real teeth. The law gives them the powers of a civil court. That means they can summon witnesses, as in legally require them to show up, demand documents, and pull public records from any office. They're not just asking questions. They are a quasi-judicial body with the power to compel people to cooperate. So, the investigation is done and a violation has been confirmed. What happens next? Does it all just end with a report filed away somewhere? Absolutely not. This is where we see how an inquiry leads to real-world consequences. You see, the commission's job doesn't stop at fact-finding. It can recommend that the government pay compensation to the victim, or that it start prosecution against the public servants who are at fault. It can even go directly to the Supreme Court or the High Court to make sure its recommendations are followed. This is the part of the process that's all about accountability. And the act goes even one step further to make sure justice isn't just done, but done quickly. It has a provision for setting up special human rights courts in every district. The whole point is to fast track these cases, because justice delayed is justice denied, right? Now, this is a really practical, super important piece of info for you to take away. The Act has a time limit. The Commission can't look into any case if it's been more than 1 year since the violation happened. So, time is definitely of the essence. So there you have it, from the top-level NHRC all the way down to the state commissions, from the powers of a court to creating special human rights courts. The 1993 Act built this entire system for protection, which really leaves us with one final thought. Now that we know this powerful framework is there, how can we make sure it's used to its full potential to protect the rights of every single citizen?